Hey everyone, it's Coeval here. Hope you're doing well. I've got a nice game for you guys. Between myself and Wayward, we're playing 20 Comet. So 20 Elven Isles with the Comet Arma, default Arma. And looks like he's got a ritual book. And I am running a pretty generic book. I actually ran out of time there to do the flash sync. I think I was talking with Harp at the time. And then I started my turn with like 15 seconds. And so I just got the drain off. So not the best start, but not the end of the world. So I blast from the past down to tower out. Yeah, I use a blast from the past early, but they're not quite as crucial on a lot of non-Arma maps. Or not non-Arma, but Arma maps, right? A little bit more utility on these maps on grassy. So here he's going to bring out the snare. And I'm just going to try to chip away at him with Aura. His plan here, I would guess, is to just survive until the late game, get his stuff ritualed, get his spear ritualed, snare, and then get a bank out basically and teleport to me and start to rush me down. With the snowball, he's going to heal a lot from a snowball from a bank, right? So that's his plan. He's got Deluge 2 to pressure from above, which is a great addition to his book. And here, basically, I'm just saying, you know what? He can't really get to me. I know he's got like Whisper Arrow, Whisper Bomb, and some pretty strong like rush potential with the snowball and the snare. So if he's not coming to me, I'm chilling, I'm just waiting, and I see that I've got 3 turns. I do need to move at some point from the right side of the map to the middle, but I still know I have time. He does have drone to help pressure when he's not rushing. Here he's using his mushrooms on the drone. I'm not sure I like that strategy. I'd probably save them for later in the game when he's low on health. Or maybe he's hit by a comet and then he pops a mushroom after it's empowered, so it gives double the health. But he does use a mushroom there, and I'm keeping track. He's got 3 left, right? If he uses it on a minion, I consider it a pretty big win. So here I decide to go to the middle because I've got only 1 turn until the comets are going to start. And I think maybe I have prod up again. I can just bring it up. Get it on cooldown again. Yeah, so 70. And yeah, the drone can get to me. But it's only 50 damage, then I can kill it. Like, it's not a huge threat, but I do try to control the mobility of his drones. And he does Q there, maybe a little bit indecisive. That happens. I think I have a Q later in the game too. Actually coming up here pretty soon. So it is only 20 seconds. You really don't have a lot of time. Can't really move a lot of minions. You can use, minions and Dark Knight and stuff like that, but you just have to be fast. So here he is still kind of stalling to the late game, right? That's his end game goal. And so knowing that, I'm just trying to keep my distance, stack protection shields, and at some point the game plan basically is to just flash the bottom of the map pretty much and start to just take all the land out because he doesn't have flight and he will not be able to protect himself. And that was one of my cues where I tried to get the swarm back into that little hole because I wanted to protect it from the drone. Really, I should just put my Pegasus up where that drone is, right there where I just pinged. That way the drone can't come in. But in that moment I was a little bit flustered. I kind of ran out of time, so didn't get that off. But it's not a huge deal. I can always go out and kill that drone if I want, but I'm thinking, comets are slowly starting to close in. They're not going to go that far mid-map yet, but I just felt like I want to, make a little bit of my own, like, hidey hole, my own little home base there. I don't have to worry about the drone. It can kill whatever it wants, do whatever it wants. So I'm just going to hide down here, keep developing minions where I'm hidden from the drone, and yeah, the game continues. So again, he really can't do too much to me. I know that he's still waiting for the very end game. He goes for the Whisper Bomb there. It doesn't quite make it. For a split second, I thought that was an Ice Bomb. I don't know why, but I just saw the Comet Shard, and I was like, oh, he's just throwing out an Ice Bomb through the terrain there. But yeah, he goes for the Whisper. It doesn't quite make it there through. And at this point too, I'm stacking prots because I know that if he hits me with the Whisper Arrow, then I can just like prot back up. You know, I get those protection shields on cooldown so that the rush, it's not really like that oppressive. I can deal with it. So there I cast the aura just to prevent the drone from coming in, and he does kill the Pegasus. Again, I just prioritize stacking the prots. I don't really care about the drone. It can kill whatever. And it can't get to me due to the aura, so that's nice too. And you can see the comets are destroying the map turn by turn. The drone is dodging the comets like a matrix, you know, just like the matrix, just, you know, going back and forth, weaving in and out of them. And yeah, I can see at some point he probably wants to teleport into me, but it seems a little bit ill-advised if I'm at 125 prot. So instead he's just going to choose to dig, which that kind of signals to me that he doesn't have Ferocious Strike, because then he would empower it and dig with that. So instead he's digging with the Whisper Bomb. But it's a slow kind of maneuvering game, strategic, and just super passive. We're just stalling until the Arma. And right now the Arma's doing some good work, but here he's not really in a position to make a move quite yet. So I'm just saying, you know what, that's fine. I'm just going to prod everything. I'll stack prots for 5 turns on this Pegasus. And I know that eventually, when that aura comes off cooldown, I want to aura the bank and try to kill it. Get it down real low, maybe the Comet will hit it. And he again goes for a Whisper Bomb. Again, doesn't really have like a clear plan. But not to say that the book isn't good. The book is good, but you get to this point where if I'm positioning myself well enough, and I kind of know, I know his book going into this because we've played a lot of games, and so I kind of developed a strategy to combat it, which is to stay just out of range of the Whisper Bombs, the Whisper Arrows, stack protection shields to kind of mitigate his rush potential, and then that'll put me in a good spot to win the game. I do sneak the swarm through, which is kind of nice. And then I, of course, misclick and I go over to the right instead. But then I run out of time because I had some clunky movement there. And so I had to protection shield the peg with the swarm on it, which, yeah, I mean, that's too bad. But he does get the double hit off. But for me, honestly, like, I feel like with the book that I have, it's fine. Like, the drone can do so much damage, and if you added up how much damage it's done, it's absolutely ridiculous. Also, the reason that drone didn't die there is because he did cast Commune with Nature for 1 turn, which, if you guys aren't aware, I can show you how that works. It's in the Wilds book. Yeah, so at the end of the turn, until your next turn, you and your minions share all damage taken. So it just like allows you to have a bit of a cushion, and you're not going to take as much damage. If you have minions out and you use this spell, your minions will split some of that damage with you. So, and the ritualed version of it, it lasts 2 turns instead of 1 turn. So I got the aura out. I'm chipping away at his blood bank again. I don't mind burning a mud to limit the drone movement, and the reason is it's the only threat that he has out, and it's the only threat that he's really showed that he's willing to, you know, use, and that he's getting a lot of effectiveness out of. Like, the most damage done by far in this game is drone to minions and to me. So he does eventually make the move, even though I'm at 120 prot, and I know what he's trying to do is zone me out of this area with not swarms, snares, right? And so I've got my eye on other areas that I might be able to teleport. I also think that's his 3rd mushroom, and he's used them all on minions, which I don't think is the best play. I think he can keep those mushrooms and just, it's not like I'm able to pressure his minions and kill them with aerials and stuff. So he should probably just keep them alive at the low health. If they ever drop, just summon another minion, because it'll be off cooldown by then, probably, in most cases. So he's going to tower to just kind of open up that area, reveal himself to me, and he wants to, you know, do some damage. Snowball spam. He's got the bank out. I know this, so I'm going to burn another mud. and I've got one left. Here, I could even use it again if I want, or I could just drain this. Yeah, I decided to just burn my last one. I think that's the fourth. Third or fourth. I see 3 on the map, so maybe third. But I might have flashed. He might have... No, he doesn't have flash, so I think I have 3 of 4 used, and I'm lucky enough that the snare wasn't very close, so it's not doing so much damage. I can still stall, stack the prots, and like I said, I'm looking for another area that I can teleport to, and start to, stall even more, because he's starting to advance. He's making some progress. Right now he gated again. He wants to rush me. Here I decide I don't have to gate quite yet. I can still bring a minion out, force him to respond, and at the very last moment I can decide to gate. And he does burn his snare, which is nice, and he has gate down, so this is a great time to move. And I spot this spot down here where I just teleported. It's a great area. He's not able to get to it. He would have to teleport to get there. He doesn't have a great digging spell because he doesn't have strike. And so I think he casted a Whisper Bomb. He tried to kill the Pegasus, but it went through the peg. So that's why you didn't see the spell go off there. But you can watch the text at the bottom of the screen. It tells you casting what the spell is, casting Whisper Bomb or Arcane Flash or whatever. So again, like I said, yeah, if the bank just dies or if a minion just dies, he just brings out another. It's not a big deal. We're starting to get kind of late though, but I still feel confident. He gets his bank out. I always just cast Aura to just do chip damage. And it doesn't really have a safe place to go here, right? So I'm looking pretty good, but he still has chances because of the rush potential of the book, the empowered spear, the snare, which does a lot of damage now because it's empowered, if he can catch me after a teleport. But now I feel good because I've been able to get my prots back up to 125, kind of find refuge in the bottom of the map here where I'm trapped. And now at this point I'm just going to start flashing the map, and the reason is if he comes to teleport in, it makes it easier for me to flash him and sync him, or let's say that he teleports in here and casts a snare, I might be able to just flash and then sync the snare, and then all of the future snares will not spawn. One snare has to be up for the rest to spawn. So here he decides to drop a snare in to the left there, and I'm feeling okay about that. I don't think they'll really get to me, and I did clear out that land to the right, so I'm not feeling like that's too much of a threat. And also he's starting to expose himself on the top of the map. Like, top control's great on a map like Grassy, where there's no Arma, but on a map like Elven, where you've got a top heavy Arma, I feel like I've got a superior map position. If this was like Kano or Fisher, maybe it'd be a different story, right? But since it's Elven, he is pretty exposed out in the open. And I do have a bunch of prots. He does go for the Whisper Bomb there, get some damage off. I don't know if it hits me, does it? No, not quite. So that's good. I still have 125 prots. Here I have an option to flash him off, but it looks a little bit dubious. It's probably possible, but I ultimately decide not to. And what I would probably do is just go right there and extend upward and flash, but I don't think that would knock him over to the left far enough. It would probably just launch him upward, and then he would hit the land and he wouldn't go anywhere. So, but I don't know, maybe with 125 prot, just flashing that open is fine, because the most damage that he can do is 95, and I have 125 prot. So, and then I would be able to flash him, I would be able to Mega Boulder him, I would be able to, do a bunch of damage. Drain him off, whatever it might be. So, might have been a good play to just flash it open. Oh, excuse me. Okay, and like I said, he does tower, but he has the inferior positioning, right? And at this point I decide to flash it open, now that his tower is on cooldown, and I thought of it a bit late, and then eventually decided to flash out now, which is still a fine play. Probably a little bit better earlier in the game, but It's still fine here because look, I can use the Pegasus to absorb the aura and then go over there and get some great damage out on him. And like I said, I have 125 prot, so maybe I can go here, or I don't know. Yeah, anywhere here is like pretty risky, so I was thinking I gotta stay protected. And I decided to go for the Dark Matter Bomb. It gets a little bit of an unlucky bounce, but it's still good. And this would be risky if I was low prot, but since I have 125, I can't be deflighted. If I were to be deflighted, then I would drop into that 80 damage bomb and I would be grab pulsed. It would just be super, super bad. And that would like potentially lose me the game. But now, of course, like I'm at 125 prot with max HP. Basically, he has to stall. He has to use his muds, which is fine. I'm gonna flash out. Okay, my peg dies there. I take a little bit of damage. I gotta be careful of the comets now. It's possible that a comet could bonk me on the head for 100 or more. He does go for a deluge, which it does, I think, almost the full 90. Yeah, 2 drops, so 84 damage. And I dodged a comet there, thankfully. And now I'm deciding if I want to go for a Mega Boulder, and I eventually do decide to do that, so that's over 100 damage. A nice little lob. And he gets hit twice. He gets down to 60 health. The Arma helps me out a bit there, but I still feel like I was in a pretty good position, even without that Arma hit. It is turn 45, but it's looking pretty good for me after that Arma hit. And icing on the cake, the comet comes down and nails him. So anyway, guys, I had a really good strategy going in. I played Wayward a lot with this ritual book. And if you enjoyed kind of this different type of set, 20 seconds comet, and enjoyed that strategy, the commentary, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Peace out.